I'm trying to start this episode right now. Hello and welcome to Error Code Blueberry, an unassuming Destiny podcast. It is episode 12, or week 10 of the current season. My name is chillybin.
I'm Meckii.
If you can't tell by our fucking coordinated outfits, we love the spooky season here. This thing comes up, but it muffles my voice, so I'm not going to wear it like this.
I'm just wearing pajamas.
Yeah, so if you didn't catch it, I need to get this thing out of my fucking face. If you didn't catch it, we did about a 2-hour stream just now.
Yeah, we started at 7 and ended at about 8:30, so just over 2.5 hours maybe.
Yeah,
9:30 for you. Yeah,
around there. But yeah, so we were in there with one of our fire team / clan members who now we can name because he's featured on something we produce. So shout out to Alex the Trash, now canonically friend of the pod. He joined us for some strikes and some haunted lost sectors and some generally spooky cursed activity. We had a good time. We were dressed for the occasion. He wasn't on camera, so he didn't need to be. But yeah, and then because of scheduling this week, basically, we have gone off the back of that stream into immediately recording this episode, and I am a beer and a half in. So
okay, I'll be honest. It wasn't scheduling. It was I went out and got shit-faced on tequila last night.
Yeah, but it was your birthday this week, so one, happy birthday, and two, yeah, that happens.
I had a 1-liter margarita that was colored black, and it was called a margarita.
Okay.
Tequila and dark sense of humor is me.
Yes.
So
yeah,
I had to.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. It sounds like you had a good time.
I had a lot of tequila.
You had a time.
That's all I remember.
You were there. Time passed. Birthday done.
I had free corn chips and multiple margaritas. It was a good time.
Okay. Good. Yeah, I also, so for context, in Melbourne today, or in the last 24 hours, we've had some pretty big thunderstorms, a lot of trees down, power outages across the city. I wasn't even sure I'd be able to do any of this shit today because when we got up this morning, no power. Estimate was about midday we would get that back. And then it got closer to midday, and then they pushed it. They were like, no, 2 p.m. And then it gets a little bit later in the day, maybe an hour later, and it's like, how about 8 p.m. though? I'm like, well, if you told me that this morning, I could have prepared. But now we've gone to the cafe to get food, and we're like, yeah, we can get through to 2 o'clock. And then it's like, no, but add 6 hours to that. Get fucked. And we were scheduled to start the stream at 7 o'clock, and then we were planning to record this afterwards. So I was like, we're just gonna have to play this one by ear, knowing that tomorrow we have to release. So didn't really have a backup. So kind of really glad that it all worked out. But it's been a real weird day. That's for sure.
At least they gave you ETAs. In my state, and you saw the screenshot when I sent it to you once, they just say, eventually.
Yeah, you'll get power back. What do you want?
That's the ETA. Time to repair, eventually.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's been a day. But look, I'm glad we were able to get everything to work today. I streamed again for the first time in 9 months. Put a bunch of work in over the last couple days to build up my OBS layouts, build up Streamlabs stuff, get the Stream Deck all hooked back up to everything, especially after that Twitch leak, and I had to reset my password, and it was oh, nothing works anymore. But yeah, it was good to dust the cobwebs off. Got some games I'm thinking about maybe streaming some more, so stay tuned. Links in the description to each of our respective streams and Twitters where we talk about that sort of thing. But that's a good, 5 minutes of just general kind of what have we been up to. But we are here, of course, to talk about Destiny, more specifically. which, I mean, we did stream Destiny, in case that wasn't clear. But yeah, so this is the last week of Festival of the Lost.
Yes, yeah.
Yes. Next week, we're back to just like regular kind of weekly stuff. I think Iron Banner is next week, so that's a bit interesting in terms of, you know, the variety that we're going to get leading up to December. Because the story stuff, it seems like, is actually just kind of done. Unless we get some stuff close to the end of the season leading into Witch Queen. But yeah, it's a good chance to go through, as we did on the stream, some of the haunted lost sectors, not haunted forest. You know, get those last pages collected, get the last bits and pieces out of there. I think the number of boxes I ticked off on the stream, I like bought the Calavera shell for Bright Dust, got the last pages that I needed for the lore book, got all the triumphs ticked off for the Festival of Lost, so I can just like fully wipe my hands clean of it. I think you've got a few more pages to go, but pretty close.
Yeah. I also really want that shell, so I'm gonna have to jump back into it tonight and probably tomorrow a little bit and grind out some Bright Dust.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
I'm halfway there.
The best thing's like hitting those seasonal challenges that give you Bright Dust, because I popped one of them while we were in that stream, and I was only like 60 Bright Dust away, and it was like, here's a couple hundred. I was like, great, I'm gonna go buy this thing right now.
Yeah.
It was also really funny that all three of us are running the fucking Skitter Scare Spider Sparrow nonsense.
And
just
Honk
kind of
Moon.
like drifting. Yeah. Honk Moon, Skitter Scare, geese riding spiders.
A nightmare.
Yeah, actually, though.
Dystopian nightmare.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been a good, as far as like Festival of the Lost goes, I think it's been a pretty good, like, chill time, you know?
Yeah. It's like I keep saying every week, I'm like, I love it.
Yeah.
It feels refreshed. And it's just a nice, you know, relaxing vibe. Especially considering like some of the themes of this year's story are kind of heavy.
They are. And then you get into the Festival of the Lost stuff, and it's like, yeah, Crow's ghost just sings him to sleep. It's like, here's a nice little detail that you get to hold on to. And these weird books about guardians looking at porn or whatever it is. Shout out to the Lunar4 lore book. What a weird thing. But yeah, it's been good. And then we're about to kind of enter it's not like it's almost like a quiet period, or, you know, I'm trying to avoid language that people that call Destiny a dead game might use, but the next big thing is the 30th anniversary event, 7th of December, that reset, that all kicks off. So we've basically got like a month of just weekly stuff. So it's a good chance, I guess, to do all of the seasonal challenges, get those kind of ticked off. I'm only a couple of those away from like completing the season challenge, where you have to get 75 of them. So yeah, it's kind of a, you know, chance to just, I don't know, maybe play something else. And it's perfect timing because there's a lot of games coming out at the moment.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm actually, a lot of the stuff that's happening at the moment isn't on PC, so I'm considering getting a capture card and maybe doing the
run the Switch into it.
Yeah. See what I can play on stream. Other than that, probably Stardew, Age of Empires, the new one. Now that that's out.
Well, never
Make
been
some people angry by not playing it properly.
Never been happier to have fucking Game Pass on PC. It's like, here, have Age of Empires 4. Okay. But anyway, getting off topic. There is also, like, the other part for me is, like, as someone who has one of each 3 class, this week I got my Hunter up to 1330, so gear cap. My Warlock I'm now getting back up, because I kind of let them lapse a bit a couple of seasons ago. I think it was before they decreased it from, like, having to gain plus 50 power every season to 10. So there was a bit of work I had to do to kind of bring them both back up. But the Hunter's done. Warlock, I was playing that a bunch tonight. Just grinding out those real easy pinnacles of like, do 3 strikes, do 3 crucibles, do 3 gambits, and then see where that gets me. And Exo Challenge is pretty straightforward and getting close, but it's also the thing of like all my weapons are already 1330. I have to grind out the 5 armor pieces, and then it's just RNG.
Yeah.
It's just hopefully I don't end up in the spot where Alex got to, where he was like only looking for chest for like 4 weeks and doing every pinnacle. It was just brutal to watch.
I was gonna say he wasn't getting chest.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see. I think like that's the kind of stuff that I love having a bit of a quiet period in the game for, because I just ignore it otherwise. I'm like, I want to do the high level stuff. I'm gonna play my Titan. And I'm starting to get more comfortable with my hunter for that sort of stuff. Like, I still haven't done Vault of Glass with my Warlock. I've done it with the other 2. I do want to get those armor sets though, so might have to. But I'll never say never. I'm very reluctant to take anything but my Titan into trials, because the problem I have is
that's
like
understandable.
I don't have that like really curated armor set for the other 2 classes in the same way that I do for my Titan. So I need to farm a bit of gear, bring everything back up. So we'll see.
Yeah. I just have my Warlock.
Mm.
I'm not rolling anything else now out of principle.
Yeah, but it is also like it takes a bit of time to like get more than one character up to a point where you feel comfortable taking them into stuff. Like unless you're just doing like Vanguard strikes where power level doesn't really matter. You get to a point where it's like, I don't have enough exotics to do what I want to do in terms of armor for the class, which is almost where I am with my Hunter and my Warlock, where like I've unlocked basically everything, but the pieces that I've dropped weren't good rolls, and a lot of them I didn't keep as a result, but I never went and rolled better ones. So it's like, oh, you should use this if you're using like arc stuff. It's like, cool, I don't have that. Like, what am I going to do? But limited time, like working a full-ass job. I don't have time to just sit around and like grind out armor. But I might.
Yeah.
And I don't know. In the next couple of weeks, I might.
Yeah. That's another hesitation I have too about rolling another character, is just like I sometimes don't have the time to commit to just my Warlock.
Yeah. Yeah, like you
It's
still
like
don't have necrotic grip.
But I have 2 mythic class.
Okay. I wasn't going to be the one to bring this up because it makes me real angry. I think you and I have probably the same number of Vault of Glass clears, right? Sort of around
I think we've
8,
pretty
9,
much
something like that.
We've pretty much run every Vault of Glass together. I think there was one where I didn't join because we rotated in some people who haven't had a chance to do it yet.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure my clears, I'm at like either 8 or 9, which look, not many, but you're at about the same number, and you've had Vex Mythoclast drop twice now.
2 raids in a row.
Back to back. That is fucked.
Yeah, but like, I get your anger, but at the same time, how fucked is my RNG in every other aspect of the game?
Mean, yes, true.
12 years in Azkaban. I got mine.
Fuck.
I still don't have eyes. I still don't have necrotics, and I've got 2 exotics, a chest and a helmet. That is a random drop.
Yeah. I mean, the difference with those exotics that you can get out of Lost Sectors is like the point is you have to go do those by yourself. You don't need 6 people to farm it. That's what makes it annoying. It's like you have to get a whole raid together to even have a chance.
Yeah, well, the other day I ran a Lost Sector 8 times trying to drop necrotics, and they didn't drop.
Yeah, it'd be like that. That was like me trying to get I think Curus of the Falling Star for the Thunder Crash. It was so draining, and it was like when I was right at about the power level that it's set at, it was rough.
It took me 3 weeks to get Mantle of Battle Harmony, remember?
Yeah.
And then it finally dropped and you just heard me yell.
Yeah.
Yes!
Yeah, that was like, you were almost pretty subdued when you got that second Vex drop. You're like, no, surely not. I don't want to tell the team.
I think everyone knew it dropped because I started laughing.
Yeah.
Because from my point of view, I was down the stairs.
Yep.
And as I came up the stairs, there was a normal, like a purple, and then the exotic one was behind the purple.
Right.
So as I came up over the stairs, I was like, oh, okay. And then as I
What
went
could
to
this
pick up the
be?
purple, I saw the yellow, and then I just started laughing. And then that's when another clan member was like, you fucking got it again, didn't you? And then that's when I started laughing.
Unbelievable.
That's when I started cackling.
Actual scumbag.
You know me, I can't keep anything a secret.
No.
I giggle every time I find something. Like,
Yeah, it would have been really funny if you just walked up to someone, pulled it out, and then just dismantled it in front of them. Which I've seen someone do with Eyes of Tomorrow.
Yes, the great Eyes of Tomorrow debacle of 2020.
I don't use rocket launchers, fuck this. Ah, dear. Yes, I've lost the notes for the show. Yeah, so because it's like all festival the last time, and we're in the last week, and there's a lot going on. Not a whole lot in terms of, you know, weekly update stuff to talk about. There were some interesting notes, such as DMG on Twitter essentially canonizing the fact that Lord Saladin is a fucking Grinch. Responding to someone saying, rule of thumb, if there's an event in the tower with tons of decorations and such, Saladin is on vacation. Which is one way of saying, if there's an event going on, there's no Iron Banner. But the way that he described it makes it sound like Lord Saladin hates fun. And if you've ever heard that guy talk, I believe it.
Saladin's not down to party, man.
No, he's off, I don't know, like reading a leather-bound book, drinking a cup of tea, sharpening his sword. He's just cranking it. He's cranking it, but he's not happy about it. It's like, well, if I must, what else am I going to do? Yeah. I'm a bony boy. Gotta jerk it. I don't like where this is going. I'm just gonna hide. Just it doesn't stay up. I heard that. What else was going on this week? Because we're recording on a Friday night, we got to see this week's TWAB.
Yeah. Speaking of haunted, fucking Telesto rose from the dead at some point this week.
Just legitimately, as someone who
reactivated itself.
As someone who's never used Telesto in game, delete it. Get rid of it. The amount of times it breaks the game in a way that like requires hot fixing and emergency notifications on Twitter. Just get rid of the fucking thing.
It's just, no, it's almost a meme at this point that it's so broken. But just the fact that at one point this week, during Festival of the Lost, it reactivated itself. Yeah, like it was bitch, you thought I was dead.
It was disabled in PvP and Gambit, and then apparently you could still use it.
It was like, bitch, you thought.
It's just like graveyard, tombstone, hand, just like, hello. Which is honestly, very Festival of the Lost.
Telesto is ready to fight God or become him.
Yes. Yeah. I discovered, I don't know if this is how new this is, but there is a website, telesto.report, which is basically just a list of every time Telesto broke the game and a link to someone posting about it somewhere or a video of what happens. This latest one, have you seen the video?
No. But
so
what
it is for some reason, and granted, in the patch this week, Telesto just got a flat-out nerf. It was like, okay, Telesto does less damage, the projectiles don't stick to certain things now, and the projectiles last for half as long before they disappear, right? Mm-hmm. So what it does now, apparently, is that it basically nullifies projectile-based supers. So the example that I saw was on the Cauldron PvP map, so the one on the moon, with the last Trials map. You know the doors that open? Somebody from one side had shot a bunch of Telesto bolts against the door. Somebody popping their throwing hammer super opened the door. The hammers hitting those bolts just disappeared.
Oh.
Yeah.
So in nerfing it, they made it stronger.
They did something. So fucking 0 days since the last. It was like literally 4 hours after the release of that patch. Fucking broken again.
What if our theories are wrong? What if it's not a character who's going to die? What if the big moment at the end of this
Telesto.
season is Telesto gets destroyed?
Zavala takes out, spoiler alert, the sidearm and kills the gun Telesto with it.
Execution style.
Yeah. Yeah, he like calls up Keitel, right? It's like, hey, I need your strength. I need those big arms. I need you to hold this gun down. I'm gonna just fucking, I'm gonna curb stomp it. Actually, no gun, curb stomp. But I'm gonna put a Ward of Dawn up first, so that I've got that extra damage, and then just take it out.
Zavathun's first point of business when she's released is she
Telesto?
just snaps Telesto over her knee.
No. She's gonna make Telesto more powerful.
Uh-oh.
Because we are already struggling to deal with it.
Now it tells lies.
To lie, Stowe. I hate that.
Oh no.
But yeah, so shout out to whoever built Telesto.report, because I think that's really funny, because you've got like raid report, trials report, and I think nightfall.report is a thing. Maybe I think grandmaster.report. So there's clearly a convention here, and then someone's just like, oh fuck it, Telesto.report. I don't know.
I just love people are getting so angry about it, and I'm just like, at this point, it's funny. Like, it's funny.
Yeah. It's also, how many times do we have to do this before they do actually just remove it? I can't think of another time where they've just removed a weapon from the game, other than like the weird stuff that happened with Heir Apparent. But that was more just, they dropped it for an event, and then they just didn't drop it for anything for ages. But that's not so much pulling something out of the game.
Yeah, because didn't they didn't drop it, and then they nerfed the shit out of it too, didn't they?
No, I think it was just a Guardian Games thing, but they hadn't done it for a while, and then they didn't drop it again until like the most recent Guardian Games. And then everybody went to get it. It's fucking stupid. Such a silly gun. But yeah, shout out to Telesto just ruining games.
I love it.
I feel like I do actually just need to pull it out and go use it and see what all the fuss is about, because like I've only recently kind of come around to fusion rifles at all.
Yeah.
Mostly because of particle deconstruction. But and also like they've had a bunch of buffs and stuff to try to get people to use them more. But yeah, I've never used it, and the catalyst used to be impossible to get. Because I think it was Prestige Spire of Stars or Prestige Eater of Worlds. It was one of those two. Might have been Eater. Because Spire, I think, was the Sleeper Simulant catalyst. But such a hard drop to even get. Anyway, Telesto. Not the besto. Some interesting stuff about trials in the TWAB earlier. I was actually like, I really enjoyed the way that they just straight up put graphs and shit in there to be like, here's sort of the track of player counts. Like, yes, there's been a dip, but, and this was something I saw from, Trials Report on Twitter. They had mapped the trend of player counts in Trials week to week with like every iteration of Trials back to D1. And used like this current iteration of Trials as like the benchmark. So there's one where it's spiked up to 105%, but that's because it's like more than we've had in this round. That's all that means. But basically, even though there's been a dip, it follows the same pattern as every other iteration of Trials, but the player base or the player count in the last week is higher than it's ever been at this point. Right, so we're like 5 weeks into a trial cycle, it's
Yeah.
doing as good as it's ever done. As much as people want to go like, oh, player counts have dropped, it's like, yeah, but that was always going to happen, because people
It's always gonna
realize, oh, this isn't
fluctuate.
for me. The matchmaking still doesn't kind of help me. I'm getting stomped, which, they're trying to mitigate some of those things. But interesting to see them actually go like, look, here's the numbers. Like, you want to bitch and moan about like, oh, I don't feel like I'm having that much fun with it. It's like, okay, but that's how it's always been,
Yeah.
you know?
And that too, it's like if you stopped and you looked at the number fluctuations and drops just for Crucible,
Mm,
you'd probably see a similar trend.
yeah,
There's just game modes that people aren't gonna engage in.
yeah. But I think ultimately the changes they've done, as we've said in previous weeks, are good. Like it is more accessible. It's not accessible for everybody because it still requires a certain amount of skill to do well in, because it is the end game for PvP, right?
Yeah.
Or one of the end game modes. Um, so there's always going to be like a flaw of like, okay, you need to be at least this good if you want to get some of the rewards without feeling like it's a massive grind. And the freelance stuff has been interesting to see, sort of how much people have actually adopted that. I think they've kind of said they're using it to inform their general matchmaking logic, where I think what the impression I got from the TWAB this morning was they don't necessarily want to always have a freelance mode available,
Mm.
but they want to use that data to inform the matchmaking logic for just the regular trials playlist, so that if you've got a 3-stack, they'll prioritize matching that against another 3-stack. If you've got a team of solos, same thing. The tricky part is going to be where you've got 2s going in, because like, okay, 2s plus a blueberry. Do you match them against 2s? Do you match them against 3s? Do you match them against a team and match them against a team of solos?
Yeah.
That's harder to figure out. And they're trying to also bring in more information about like your performance for that week and use that to inform matchmaking priority. The issue that we spoke about a couple of weeks ago, actually, where people were getting to 6 wins, flawless, and then resetting, turns out it's like less than 1% of people actually doing that. So as much as like
Yeah.
people went on Twitter and made a big noise about it, it's like actually no one's doing that. Why? It doesn't make any sense, for one.
Like we
But even
said,
then, that they are going to like feed all that information in
yeah.
to the matchmaking. So it's like, okay, you've had this many matches flawless, or you've done this many cards flawless this week. We're going to match you against people that have had a similar number of wins, regardless of how they got them.
Yeah. And it's like we said that week too. I was like, how many of them are legit like
Mm,
Smurfs? And
yeah,
how many of them are just they had a good run and then they got stomped and they want someone to blame for it?
yeah, and so that's kind of what they're looking at, is like if somebody has scraped through to a 7 flawless lighthouse trip, they're probably going to come. They're going to come up against people that have got 7 wins for the weekend. And that might be someone who's done the same thing, or it might be someone who's gone like they've just kind of floundered on one card. They've got like some scrappy wins here and there. But if it's someone that's done like, say, 3 flawless cards, that's 21 wins, you're not going to come up against someone in that situation if you've only got like a few wins, or you've got like 7 wins on your card. They're also getting rid of the flawless pool, which I think is actually pretty good,
Mm.
because they also just acknowledge like if you're outside of America, it sucks, because for us, so the flawless pool used to kick in at Sunday morning, which for us is essentially late Sunday
Monday.
night to Monday morning, right? And so
Yeah.
there's fuck all left of the week. Not many people playing trials at that point. So it kind of like is this natural filtering process that maybe didn't need to exist. I understand why they did it, because
Yeah.
it was a theory they had to test, right? Of okay, if we separate the sweat lords, how nice is the sandpit for everybody else? How much piss is actually in there? Let's find out. Let's go test the sand. Um, but what they've kind of found, and the data backs it up, is like, okay, it just is kind of just forcing people out, because it's not actually solving the problem they thought it was going to solve. Um, so it's it's good to see them try stuff,
Yeah.
and it's good to see them put the data out there and be like, look, here's what we thought would happen, here's what actually happened, here's what we're trying now, which is really interesting to see them just fucking show their whole ass about that stuff.
Yeah, I like the transparency where they're just like, hey, we're doing some shit.
Yeah.
And it's for a reason. There's an end goal here.
Yes. Yeah. So we'll see. I don't think so. Yeah, next week is Iron Banner. So this week is Trials, but it's just I think back to a single playlist.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of that stuff is already in terms of like I'm pretty sure the Flawless Pool is already out. But I don't know how much of like the matchmaking improvements they've done yet. We'll see. Like
We'll find out.
I'll fuck around with it this weekend. See how it feels. Depends on the map. I wasn't a huge fan of Cauldron, but also playing it, I only played freelance. So a lot of it was like, oh, the people on my team are just running away and acting like heroes, and that's not working. But I don't really want to join voice chat and be like, hey, can we group up?
Hey guys, come back.
Yeah, and I'm reluctant. I don't think I've ever joined text chat even. As much as like I know it would help. I have trauma or baggage, I guess, of like being in open Call of Duty lobbies and being like, no, I hate this. No, thank you.
I join it, but just to say thank you at the end of every game.
Yeah, but it's funny, like you load into a match and you see, oh, the two people on your fire team or your team, sorry, they both joined the team voice channel. I'm like, no, don't care. Don't care if you're both in there. No, thank you. I don't want to hear it. Well, your microphone's cut out. You bump the cable? Give it a whirl. I'm just gonna leave this in here. This is the life. It's a USB microphone.
No.
There it is.
Yeah. Let me just move it forward.
Mm.
And then tighten the cable strap. Or I'm just gonna get some black painter's tape and tape it in place.
Yeah.
Apologies.
That's fine. That's the
I thought having a moomam would make my life a
moonbum.
My mic is on the boom.
Good.
I thought it would make life easier for the podcast, but also streaming. But as we learnt today, apparently the USB port in the bottom of my fucking microphone is just
yeah,
fucking
it's probably had like enough tension applied to it one way or the other that it's like just damaged, and
yeah,
that's not something that you can fix at home.
And I take care of my stuff, you know I do. So it's extra annoying, and I can't figure out why it's doing it. But I have emailed them, and we'll see.
Yeah. Anyway,
first world problems.
It's working now, so don't touch it.
First world problems. I can afford a USB mic. I shouldn't be complaining.
Yeah, it's still a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, trying to think what else we had for this week. There's honestly not that much more.
Yeah. It's a very quiet week.
Yeah.
But also because we both saved some stuff for the stream as well too. I didn't go in and do all the lore pages or bounties or anything because I wanted, at least if we ever hit a point where we were like, well, what do we do now? I could always be like, hey, I've got all these bounties I need to pop. Let's fuck around.
Yeah, let's see how many season ranks you go up.
I played my first game of what Alex affectionately calls strike golf. I've never done it before.
Great. You won.
I won.
So for people at home, if you want to try this for yourself, get a couple of friends. I mean, you could play this with blueberries, but it's way more fun if you're actually just hanging out with friends.
With a group of friends, yeah.
Yeah. So what you do is you run strike playlist, and you try to get as few kills as possible. So basically just, can you speedrun a strike without dying is essentially the question. I think I ended up with like 30 kills. Alex ended up with like 130 because he got to a point where it's like, someone needs to get these kills, and also I'm trying to get the seasonal challenge done for solo ability kills. So he just started going ham in the end. You managed to get 5, which is fucking mental.
I think I'm more impressed about how quickly I realized I could grief in this mode too.
Yes. Yes. Please tell the
I'm
people at
not
home how you did
I'm
that.
I'm not a smart woman, but I'm very good at griefing. And I will figure the fuck out how to grief a human being within 30 seconds of being given something new to play with.
Yeah.
So I equipped Arc Souls and I was basically drive-by Arc Souling chillybin. I'd slide in, drop an Arc Soul, and then go stare at a wall.
Yep.
Because the Arcs... I think it took you a little bit to realize the Arc Soul will only shoot things in your line of sight.
Yeah, I realized that about halfway through the strike. Was like, oh, the Arc Soul's only shooting forward. So if I face the other way to where the enemies are, no kills. But by that point, I probably already racked up about a dozen.
I'd figured it out very early in my life cycle of playing Destiny because we had someone in our clan who relied heavily on Arc Soul. And they didn't realize that it only shot things in line of sight, so they couldn't figure out, oh, I've got Arc Soul, but I keep dying. What's going on? And someone else in our clan was like, yeah, because it only shoots things in your line of sight. It doesn't shoot things behind you.
Same thing as No Time to Explain when it opens a little portal. It's like, it's not a fucking turret shooting everything.
Yeah.
It's just here. That's your cone of vision. That's what it's shooting.
So what I would do is I would drive by Arc Soul you, and then I would just go stare at a wall.
No, the worst one was like, if I was standing, because I was playing my Warlock, if I was standing in my own healing rift, you would come up and drop your one on me, thereby giving me Arc Souls. And I'm just like trying to survive while Alex gets all his kills and we move past that area. And that's how I got 35 kills or whatever it was Arc Souls.
My other favorite method was dropping a rift in a doorway and then dying just outside the doorway, and then you'd be like, bitch, you are not staying dead, and you'd have to walk through my rift to heal me, and then you'd be like, fuck.
Yeah. And there was a point there where you could have self-resed and you didn't push that button.
I was eating Doritos. I was having a good time.
Yeah.
I was drinking like, V, eating Doritos.
When I realized what you're doing, I was like, bitch, you are not sitting
you
there
would have
dead.
Over at my stream as I was leant back in my chair just eating Doritos. Drinking Monster, eating Doritos.
True gamer hours. But yeah, I was like, I'm going to run halfway back through the strike just to res you so that you have to be involved. But no, somehow you got through a whole strike with 5 kills.
And then I resed myself and dropped a rift.
Oh, imagine if he had been running the stag.
I don't. Oh,
yeah.
I'll have to test that.
Yeah, stag, rift on death plus Arc Soul. Right? Or do you need? I forget where Arc Souls come from.
I think it needs to be. It's dropped in the when you drop a rift. That's when it procs. So I don't know if that carries over.
I don't know Warlocks well enough. Are Arc Souls something that comes from an exotic or just an ability?
Bottom tree arc.
Yeah.
But you also have an exotic, I think, that if you charge the grenade, it turns into an Arc Soul.
Yes.
I think I could be wrong.
I feel like the stag might just let you drop Arc Souls when you die.
We will
because that's what people that's what people were doing in trials. Is they would be running Arc Souls plus the stag, and that's why you saw that fucking helmet everywhere.
I will have to go and but also stag ups your damage resistance too.
Yeah, and also the rifts are just helpful. But
they're really
I'm pretty
helpful.
sure
For like a res, they're really helpful.
I'm pretty sure that's what they do.
We will have to go test this theory and confirm it 100% because I have someone specific in mind that we could do strike golf with. And I will piss them. I will make them mad. I will grief them.
Yes. We need to set up a strike golf tournament. I don't know how you do that because it's a 3-person activity, but we'll work this out.
We'll go test our stag theory and then invite someone to play strike golf. Set them up for failure.
Come into our lair. Play games.
I think at one point We'll have to go. We'll have to go clip it. But at one point, I was just crouch running behind you, trying to get a rift on you, and
I
I
had
think you
no
said,
idea.
"Stay the fuck away from me, you gremlin!" And
I,
I'm just
I,
running in
I
circles
just saw you
behind you.
running and you were near me and you were just chasing me around. I didn't know that you were just like fucking in my
I was
shadow,
like,
like
I was like,
rift.
because I was waiting for you to stop moving, so I could be like, "Ha!"
Yes.
Because you were to stop yourself from dying. You kept
Yeah.
moving.
Also, I think the thing that might have fucked me was I was running Thorn plus Necrotic Grip, so like as soon as you kill anything, it just
You proc that,
spreads. Yeah.
like you proc the snot.
Yes. The deadly, deadly snot. Yeah, so play Strike Golf. It's a hot new sport, hot new esport coming to Destiny 2. We should see if we can get that to take off as like a thing on Twitch. Come and join us for Strike Golf. But we need to get proper people to do like a golf level commentary. We're like, yes, so you can see here that she's chosen to go for the Arc Soul Rift. Traditionally, a very good strategy for Strike Golf. Just that real like monotone, low volume. That's what we
Hit up,
need.
hit up. I got a couple of English YouTuber friends who
Okay.
have very like proper monotoned voices
Okay.
that I might be able to
I mean,
bully into it.
I've got this good mic. If I just get right up in this shit, I'd be like, yes. So you can see here that she's no, I'm not going to do that
But
anymore
also because
I can hear that.
it's a shotgun mic, so you can do the awkward like 80s thin mic.
Oh yeah,
Like
if I take the
where it's
like
held, like
take the
the awkward
windsock off it,
80s
just like
thin milk.
it's just like a pencil. Like,
Yeah.
yes, good evening. That'd be good fun. Look, now that in Melbourne here, we don't have to necessarily stay home. We can go to other people's houses. We can make this happen.
We can.
Yes, that's very exciting. What else is going on? What else is going on? It's very quiet.
I think we've just got maybe a handful of weeks of lore again, and then we're into the 30th anniversary.
Yeah, I don't know if we have any more lore coming up though, right?
I feel like they'll drip feed it to us.
I don't know if they will. I feel like
because we're kind of
it'll just
tumbling.
be like,
We're
hey,
kind of heading
Iron
towards
Banner.
the exorcism now, so I feel like we're going to be doing busy work between now and the
I
exorcism.
I think that's going to be January
Mm.
because right now
It
we've
might be
got
the final event. It might
yeah
be the reset
because we've got
event.
like what 4 or 5 weeks, 30th anniversary, probably straight into the dawning, maybe a week or two between. I haven't looked at the calendar or any projections to work this out, but and then dawning gets us basically to other side of New Year's, I think.
Mm.
And then that gives us like a month and a half, and then that's Witch Queen. So I feel like
I think
January is where we're going to see any story development.
I feel like what we're going to get is more so they're going to kind of like drip feed us lore.
Yeah.
Maybe not something that'll advance the story in
Mm.
leaps and bounds, but enough that'll give us context towards what we're building towards.
Yeah, I'm not even sure where it's going to come from because like we've done the legendary astral alignment, we've done the legendary shattered realm.
Mm.
I don't know what else they've got in the pipe where they could drop lore in a way that isn't like they're sneaking it in.
Yeah, true.
You know, because like at this point, it's pretty reasonable that you've kind of done everything. Like I've got the Realm Walker seal, which is the seasonal seal. I've done that because I've done the legendary Shattered Realms. We did the legendary Astral Alignment before we did that raid this week. There isn't that thing of like, oh, this is other activity, this other thing where they can just add some more lore stuff. I don't know where. Yeah, it would feel almost not deceptive, but like that like they were just kind of sneaking it in of like, oh, but there's this lore we didn't tell you about. You know?
We'll see.
Yeah.
They'll have something to keep us busy.
Suddenly, the big exo head awakens.
Oh no. Clovis Bork.
Who wants their goosey ate?
I was going to say this time it's just my dog's head, but I'm glad I didn't say that before you said that.
Yeah. The power of dog-like judgment.
Clovis Bork.
Clovis Bork. It's very good.
The fountain of youth is just his little water fountain. Because
Yes.
he only drinks moving water.
Yes. Wait, what? Really?
Yeah. He has a water fountain. Welcome to Erico Blueberry, the dog podcast.
Oh, yeah, you want to talk about weird dogs? I got some stories for you.
He doesn't really like, unless I change his water pretty much 2 or 3 times a day, he doesn't really like drinking it.
2 or 3 times a day?
He likes in his head, I assume he thinks it's fresh water.
Mm.
So
you gotta
I
get him
have
that like bottled mineral water just in a porcelain bowl, just like, here you go, sir.
I just have one of those like pet water fountains that just cycles the water through, and I'm like, haha, same water, dickhead. And he's like, it's delicious though, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, cool. Half of it is your spit, homie.
He's honestly the grossest.
Little rat dog.
The Rat King, thank you.
Yeah, sorry, I should, Sir Rat King, I should use his formal title. Man, yeah, no, we've just got a dog. We just got a dog that's very anxious, and especially when there's a thunderstorm. So the last 24 hours have been very interesting.
Yeah, my dog is on the same anti-anxiety medication as me, and that's really funny to me.
Homie, our dog is on a melatonin dose that is for an adult person.
Hell yeah. Dog the best. Erico Blueberry, a dog podcast.
Like, because like we give him the pills like twice a day. Melatonin's just at night to help him sleep. That's what people use it for on planes a lot of the time, for example. And I was looking at the side of the bottle. I was looking at the side of the bottle for the first time because it's my partner's dog. We moved in together. I was looking at the side of the bottle, and it's just like all the stuff about dosage and stuff. It's talking about like, if you're an adult, take this much. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? It doesn't mention dog anywhere on this bitch. What is happening?
Yeah, my dog, talking about that, my dog is on fish oils and Zyrtec because he's allergic to grass.
Okay, what's the dosage on the antihistamine though? Because I'm on that 180 milligram shit.
I haven't looked. The vet gives it to us in a little tub, and she's she's cut the pills up into their doses.
Oh yeah, just like,
because she's just like, he's so for context, he is a small dog. He's 9 kilos. He's taller than you think. Like, he looks tiny in the stuff I send you, but he's got like long legs.
Okay.
He's a rat dog crossed with something. So
right.
I don't know what they call them in the US, but in Australia we call them mini fox terriers or Jack Russells. He's something like that, crossed with potentially a Scottish terrier. We don't know. He's a rescue. We have no clue.
Yeah.
But a lot of people overdose their dogs when they're given antihistamines to give their dogs. So my vet cuts all the pills into like quarters to give your dog twice a day.
I wish we could get that. Instead, they just give us the pills, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, no, cut this one into quarters, and then give them 3/4 of a pills." What the fuck? So, like, every time we get a new batch, we have to open up a mini drug lab, get out the chopping board, get out the little clipper for the pills, and just like snip them all down, put them back in the container. And it's just like this whole thing. And by the end of it, it's like, okay, now there's pink dust all over the counter because the pills are pink.
Yeah, he hates being groomed, so we've got a legit sedatory for when he's groomed.
Yeah.
And there's no like, give him half. It's like, give him the whole pill. We want him fucking dead when he groom him because he bites us.
Wow.
Nerf that man.
Nerf your dog.
Yeah.
Cut his teeth out.
He goes to the vet looking like Hannibal Lecter because he's got a little bite guard on him and drugged as shit. Hilarious.
Wow. Welcome to Erico Dogberry. I don't know what else to call it. Era Dog Blueberry Dog.
Borkberry.
Borkberry. Ericode Borkberry. That's much better. There probably is an Ericode dog, if I'm honest.
I think so. There's Ericode Beagle and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yes. Specific types of dog.
Yeah.
But not just dog.
Ericode Sergey. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. It just smells weird.
His head just appears slowly in the game. It's like,
That's
how do you know it's over?
The NPCs start to ignore personal space. Oh no, Ericode Sergey.
You just walk into like where all the Elixir are in the tower, and there's just like fluff everywhere because they've like ripped up a couch.
Yeah. We lost another toy to the Rat King
Yo,
today, so
pour one out.
you just triggered some like PTSD. I came downstairs this morning and I was like,
Homie,
so
you done killed a man. What are you doing?
I buy him plushes from the thrift shop. I don't buy him expensive like
Oh god, no.
stuffed dog toys anymore. I go to the thrift shop and spend like 50 cents on like a teddy bear that doesn't have like button eyes or anything, and just
Right. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. Oh
dogs
man.
are the best.
Yes. Dogs are rad. That's why I've been talking about them for like the last 10 minutes. Because Destiny's real quiet at the moment.
We'll
Bringing it
have
full
a
circle, you know?
we'll have a error code puppy special.
Yeah, I mean, like, working from home full time, my dog has made an appearance in a couple of Zoom meetings. So I feel like I can get him on the pod. So sorry to any like audio only listeners. You might have to check the video when that comes around. Just like, yeah, check the timestamp, go look it up on the video. Here's a dog. That'd be the move.
Reward our viewers with serotonin from the boys.
That's it. Yeah, and then I'll get to a point where maybe I'll get another camera set up that just points at the dog. The problem there is like he doesn't usually stay in the room with me while I'm recording. He tends to move around. So it wouldn't always work, but there's a chance. Dog
I have to
cam.
lock Sergey out because he screams. He does like, imagine a husky, but then make that noise come out of a small dog.
Oh my god.
He makes husky noises. It's amazing.
It's great. Anyway,
Dogs,
uh,
Ian. We don't
dogs,
deserve them.
dogs are great. We don't deserve them. Yeah, that's probably gonna do it. I think, right? Like,
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot else happening.
I mean, streams, they're up on our channels now as
That's it.
VODs if you want to check them out. Hint,
Yeah,
hint.
yeah. I don't know if I'm gonna go through the effort of like uploading those things to the YouTube channel just because like it's a pain in the ass. But
Flip some stuff, throw them up.
we'll try and figure out some more stream plans probably. I know I've been thinking about getting back into it for ages, but it's just been like getting over that first one is always the biggest hurdle. And like I always wanted to like reset all of my stream stuff and build it back up, and I'm pretty happy with what I've done just with the last few days. But it's like I always knew there was like this amount of work I needed to do to be comfortable with like happy with how my stream looked. And I feel like I got there. And it's a good starting point.
I was very lucky and grateful that my first stream back a couple of weeks ago was a really good stream.
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun people in my chat, new people.
Mm.
That I didn't really have to come back to the whole awkwardness of talking to yourself until people start dropping in.
Yeah, and that's why tonight was fun, because like we had 3 of us in there. We could just kind of hang out, and like if people drop in, great. That's why we're there. But worst case, we've got people to talk to.
Yeah.
Also, I'm happy to see that the last time I streamed was before a lot of the additional tags got added. So, for example, I've decided that I'm going to stream under the invisible disability tag because I have one. So I've added a little bit to my bio to be like, hey, we can talk about this. Don't be a shithead about it. But I want to. It's something I try to do at work as well. Is like try to be somewhat visible about it because I'm pretty comfortable with it. But it's only been the last couple of years where I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Let's talk about it. Like I've got a tattoo behind my ear because it doesn't work. Like that was only a recent thing. So it feels maybe not more comfortable, but like it feels like it feels easier to carve out a bit of that niche and be like,
yeah,
I'm gonna be this kind of streamer. I'm gonna be a bit more like chill, a bit more safe. Well, not safe because we talk about weird shit. But like creating that space to be like, look, I'm happy to talk about the stuff, give it a platform. Also not gonna like tolerate any bullshit. So
yeah,
let's just hang out.
I'm in the same boat because I also have chronic illnesses, but also in I guess in a way one of them you could refer to as an invisible disability.
Hmm.
It does disable. Like I am disabled to a
Yeah.
degree. And I use the chronic illness tag, I use the mental health tag.
Yeah.
I am also a queer woman, so I've used the LGBTQI tag. Um and then the bipolar awareness tag as well
Mm.
too.
Yeah, that was the thing that blew my mind was like when I was setting my stream info up and it's like, okay, select the game, add tags, put the title of the stream, whatever. I was just like scrolling through the tags and I was like, holy fuck, I don't know what half of these even are. And like, or I know like a little bit, or I know enough to know what questions to ask, but I'm like, these weren't there. I don't remember these. These are new.
No, a lot of the new tags, like a lot, the tagging system was
Mm.
basically for a while, it was just for FPS, action adventure, like what games you were playing.
Yeah.
And then they started to, I think, during a lot of the awareness around issues that people of color
Mm.
experience on
Mm.
the platform and their voices not being heard,
Yeah.
you started to see tags like one of the tags I use because I might be white leaning, but I'm a BIPOC person. I'm
Hmm.
biracial, technically a person of color. I use the BIPOC tag,
Yeah.
like, and it does give you visibility, which is
Mm.
great because like there are people who have one or two viewers who show up on my recommendation and they're coming up because I either use a tag
Yeah.
or I view a lot of
Yeah.
people under that tag. And that's amazing to me.
Yeah.
That's
And then
really brilliant.
someone
Other
might also be
other queer
fed your
creators.
stream as a recommendation and they might, see that as a motivator to like go and do more.
Yeah, yeah. It's like I'm able to see a lot more people with invisible illnesses, invisible disabilities, but then also like queer creators.
Hmm.
Because not all of us advertise
Yeah.
that we're queer.
Yes.
So that is a little bit of like, and then also seeing that there is a an ally tag now as well, which is great.
Yeah, because that's always the thing, right? Like I've found that challenge sometimes where it's like, yes, I want to help use my privilege more in those sort of ways, but I'm not going to go stream under those tags because I don't feel that that's appropriate, and it isn't. If I had to get on my soapbox, I'd tell anyone that it's not. But having those sort of tags to like indicate to people that yes, I'm an ally for this or that in a way that isn't like super virtue signaling. Like you can just put this little
Mm.
tag on your stream, never talk about it,
And it
but it
lets you
shows someone that hey, if you enjoy what I'm doing, you know that I'm
a
like a
safe.
safe resource,
Yeah,
or
it's
it's
great.
yeah, it's just real nice. As much as Twitch is part of Amazon and they fucking suck and they're super capitalist and fucking to
Yeah,
hell. It
that's
is
sacrifice, isn't it?
it's a small good in amongst everything else.
Mm.
And that's like the thing I've been thinking about with this, right? Is we put out a thing on YouTube. We don't really have like a presence on Twitch. We could just start streaming to YouTube. It seems like that's gotten a lot better than it used to be. So it's something we'll probably think about. We'll look into. You and I have our own like personal Twitch stuff kind of already built up, so we'll probably keep doing that anyway. But more to come.
Yes.
More to come. I enjoyed tonight.
Yeah, and
It
I'm
is now
I'm
10:30, and we are
yeah,
wrapping up this episode. So that's maybe not something I'd want to replicate, but it's how this week's gone.
I'm excited to grow content-wise,
Hell yeah.
and I'm excited for ECB to grow content-wise as well.
Also
So,
hell yeah.
yeah.
So on that note, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, see more of our stuff coming up. As I mentioned earlier, links in the description below to our socials, our Twitch channels. We'll be back next week with another one of these.
Yes.
Weird to think this is already episode 12. I mean, this week is Halloween, so hence the get-ups. We'll be back to, well, I mean, more normal outfits, but I don't know what Destiny's like next week. We got Iron Banner coming up, I guess.
And I mean, essentially, my outfits are Halloween anyway.
Yes,
So,
big goth hours. I mean, honestly,
another week for me,
I'm
to be honest.
I'm so glad that you sent me that message. You're like, yo, we should dress up for the stream and I went and bought this because I actually fucking love this tracksuit, if I'm honest. It's so comfortable
The
and it's dope.
the trashy thing about me, I bought this skeleton pajamas in September.
Yes.
The moment here in Australia, the moment Target started putting out their Halloween clothes, I was like, I gotta go to Target. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah.
And I'm a short lady, so I fit into extra large
Yes.
boys' pajamas.
It's problem with me.
So
I'm like roughly average size for a male, so it's like if I don't get in at the right time, I'm fucked.
yeah, short lady. The catch-22 is I'm also chunky. So if it's an XL in a boy's pajamas or a teenager's pajamas, I can fit into it.
Okay.
Exhibit A.
All right. Anyway, that's us for this week. We'll see you next week. Thank you as ever for checking us out. Tell a friend about Erico Blueberry.
Oh, your dad.
Tell your dad,
Is
specifically
your dad
tell
single?
your dad. I will fight him in a Macca's car park. I don't know
Your
why.
dad's single. He got money.
Has he got games
Hey,
on his
Dad.
phone?
Hey, Dad.
Hang on. Has he got games on his phone? I don't know if that's. Anyway, I couldn't see if that actually worked. We'll see you next week. Goodbye.